Donald Trump's approval is crashing in Wisconsin. The numbers for him and the MAGA Republicans, it's catastrophic heading into the midterms and a critical governor's race in Wisconsin. By the way, the video I showed at the outset was from a peaceful No Kings protest in Milwaukee. Before I get into how catastrophic this is for Trump and the MAGA Republicans, a reminder, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. We're on our way to 6 million subscribers. We're leading the way among independent media. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed, so subscribe now. Let's take a look at how catastrophic things are for Donald Trump, his regime, and MAGA Republicans in Wisconsin, where people are pissed at him. You take a look at Trump's net approval rating in a state that he won in 2024. In Wisconsin, it's negative 14.7. By the way, take a look at Georgia, where he's negative 13%. You look at other polling data, and it kind of confirms this as well. You look at the latest TIP polling, Donald Trump's approval only stands at 41%, but I think that's going to be dropping into the 30s in the next upcoming poll. You take a look at the Napolitan poll right here, which is oftentimes Trump friendly. His approval there is only 44% in Wisconsin. The latest Marquette poll taken in early to mid-October, his approval was at 46%. By the way, you just take a look at the Democratic primaries. You've got their former lieutenant governor leading the way, Mandela Barnes, at 21%. More on that in just a moment. I've got a surprise for you. Let's talk about how Donald Trump is torturing and inflicting so much pain on the people of Wisconsin as the people of Wisconsin are standing up and rejecting this fascist regime. So Donald Trump's attacking farmers. He's attacking consumers. He's attacking people who just want healthcare. He's attacking people who want an education. He's attacking the people of Wisconsin from every direction. Let's just take a look at some of the Wisconsin soybean farmers, and you'll see how Trump is impacting their lives. Let's play this clip.
And China retaliated by refusing to buy U.S. soybeans.
Historically, China has bought more soybeans from the U.S. than the rest of the world combined. And so when China doesn't buy from us, that's a huge impact to us.
Rebout's semi holds 1,000 bushels of beans, and the minute he drives it off the field, those beans have now entered the international market, competing with growers in Argentina and Brazil.
They're growing more and more soybeans every year. They're clearing rainforests, and they're able to provide that to China.
The facts are, in the marketplace, our beans are cheaper than Brazil's. So in the absence of tariffs, we're ultra competitive.
Next, I'll show you how the Trump regime is ripping away healthcare from so many people in Wisconsin. About 300,000 people in Wisconsin on an Affordable Care Act plan, as Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies, which are set to expire officially by the end of this month. We could see 300,000 people or potentially more losing their healthcare in Wisconsin, and we're already seeing health insurance companies pull out of Wisconsin markets because of the circumstances the Trump regime created. Here, play this clip.
Last month, a major healthcare insurance company here in Wisconsin announced it was cutting healthcare coverage for thousands of people. I'm Claire Peterson in Oshkosh, speaking with a local woman who's now unsure how she's going to continue to pay for healthcare insurance.
I'm very nervous. I am very, very nervous.
Last month, Heather Martin's life was turned upside down.
Dear Heather, we are sorry to tell you that we will not be offering
a letter from Common Ground Healthcare Cooperative saying they will no longer carry Affordable Care Act coverage.
Yeah, how did you feel reading that?
I was very angry. I was angry. I was not happy.
Heather has received ACA coverage from Common Ground for 3 years. She has diabetes and asthma and needs a knee replacement surgery.
I depend on health insurance.
Common Ground cut ACA in 11 different Wisconsin counties, impacting 24,000 people.
And I want to continue to be cared for and feel good. And if I don't, I can't take proper care of the grandkids that I do have. My everything will just fall apart.
In a statement to NBC 26, Common Ground says the decision is driven by the need to maintain sustainable operations amid rapidly shifting dynamics across the industry. Finding affordable ACA coverage through someone else will be difficult for Heather because the enhanced premium tax credits, which have kept ACA coverage affordable since 2021, will expire at the end of this year.
If the government takes it all away, then I cannot afford on my income to even be able to have health insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Lynn Cotter, researcher at KFF, a health policy organization, says without these tax credits, premiums for the 300,000 Wisconsinites who use ACA will more than double.
So that's a lot of people who could potentially be impacted.
Just everything's more expensive right now, despite the fact that the Trump regime says, oh, it's so much more affordable and things are great and we're living in a golden age. Nobody's buying that because people's lived experiences are that things are not good. Things are less affordable. The job market is worse. Everything is worse off under the Trump regime. Just take a look, for example, at Christmas decorations in Wisconsin, where you see those are more expensive. Here, play this clip.
Tariffs continue to play a part in local businesses here in Northeast Wisconsin, and now it may impact some of your Christmas decorations. Local 5's Blake Bortz has more.
Christmas is fast approaching, and local businesses are having to deal with tariffs impacting some of their inventory.
If the tariff was incurred on them, then we also incurred. I will say that some of our vendors were very, very transparent in what the price was when we ordered it in January and how that tariff had impacted it. And I really appreciated that because we're all in this together.
Megan Yeska begins preparing to fill her store with decorations in January, going to vendors across the U.S., and says even the vendors didn't know how the tariffs would impact their inventory.
They didn't always know themselves, our vendors, what the tariffs and all that would bring. And so we were really depending on their expertise as much as we could and our experience that we know what our clientele at Whispering Pines is really looking for. They're looking for those unique ornaments and gifts. And so we might have been a little more strategic in that.
So now I want to bring in Mandela Barnes, former lieutenant governor of the great state of Wisconsin, who just made a very huge announcement. He is running for governor of the great state of Wisconsin. Mandela Barnes, former lieutenant governor of Wisconsin. Welcome to the MeidasTouch podcast. It is great to see you. So tell us about your big announcement today.
Hey, great to see you. Thank you so much for having me. Just announced my campaign for governor of the state of Wisconsin. We find ourselves in a very critical moment. Things have gotten increasingly more difficult for people. The president does not or has not signaled any intention to provide relief for the hardworking people of Wisconsin or any state for that matter. We continue to see rising costs in healthcare, in housing, utility bills, you name it. And we need folks who are going to stand up and be bold to stand up for this administration and fight for states like Wisconsin so that opportunity can exist in every corner. I've spent my time as a lawmaker and as lieutenant governor fighting to improve quality of life for people. And that's exactly what's going to happen if elected governor of Wisconsin. We're going to get to work on day one to lower costs because the people of the state deserve it.
It was pretty unprecedented times. Look, we've dealt with recessions in our country, great recessions in our country, going back depressions in this country, but rarely have we seen the office of the presidency being used intentionally as a tool to inflict pain on states across this country. And you look at Wisconsin, it's getting hit from all sides by this regime, whether it's farmers, whether it's business people, whether it's consumers, whether it's people seeking an education, whether it's people who need health care, you name it, it's under attack right now. So how, as the governor, are you going to address those things, a nation under attack by its own commander in chief?
And that's the problem. There are too many unprecedented moments. There's chaos, there's division, but there aren't solutions. And there certainly aren't positive results for people in states like Wisconsin. And so pushing back against the administration is one thing. We certainly need it, but we also need bold leaders with a vision to improve quality of life. When I talk about lowering costs, I mean an immediate day one expansion of Badger Care, which is our Medicaid program. Wisconsin is one of 9 states in the entire country that has yet to expand our Medicaid program under the Affordable Care Act. We also need to lower utility costs. We need to lower energy costs as soon as possible. And the quickest way to do that is generating energy right here in the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin, we're not an extraction state. We don't have oil. We don't have coal. We do have opportunities with renewables. And a lot of that has been realized through the Inflation Reduction Act, which is some work I've been a part of, ensuring that people across Wisconsin can have some sort of energy independence as these costs continue to rise. And then housing as well. We have a real problem in terms of what is available to people and what they can afford. And we have to get out of this mode where we have these wholesale properties being sold through private equity that is making it more and more difficult for a person to be able to pay rent. We're making it more difficult for a person to be able to buy their first home. Instead, in Wisconsin, we need to be making it easier, and we need to provide an example to the rest of this country.
Now, you've seen the MAGA playbook firsthand in your Senate run. They run on culture wars, divide and conquer, fear monger, and try to avoid actually talking about the day-to-day concerns of people. And they hope that if they can divide us against each other, that people will be scared and often vote against their interests, as we've seen happen before. I think that playbook is running dry right now as the American people are saying, we don't want to talk about bathrooms. We want to talk about things aren't affordable right now. But how do you contend with what you know is inevitably going to be thrown your way as you put your hat into this race?
Well, that's the problem. They continue to deflect while working people in this state continue to suffer. And for what few ideas they do present, they are wildly unpopular with people. They don't talk about what plan they have to improve quality of life because there is no plan. I can tell you how our soybean farmers are being hit, how our small business owners are trying to reel from these tariffs that are absolutely decimating their operations, and consumers in general. Going to have to, going to pay as we go into holiday season. People are going to be paying a lot more for goods and services, and Wisconsin gets pretty cold. In fact, this year is getting cold a little bit early, and utility energy costs are going to skyrocket for folks. And Republicans do not have a plan. In fact, they've been making it worse with the decisions that they have been made. And it's not even decisions that they're making. It's the decisions that Donald Trump is making that they are enabling. And I want people to know that regardless of all the noise that you're going to hear for the next 11 months or so, what you need to listen to or listen for is a plan. You need to look for somebody who's going to show up and get to work for you. There have been so many folks who've had an opportunity to get to work. Republican members of Congress, they haven't gotten to work. They've shown up just to do the bidding of Donald Trump, who is only making life better for himself, his family members, and the wealthy elites that are just like him. Not you, not to our family farmers, not to our small business owners. And I want folks to know that I'm going to step up and fight every step of the way to improve quality of life, to make things better, to lower those costs so that opportunity can exist in every corner of Wisconsin. Wisconsin has been a bold state, a state that has done the right thing. We have provided so much to this entire country. Unfortunately, we aren't getting enough back in return, and it won't happen until we have folks who are ready and willing to stand up to this administration.
We've been able to see the governor races in New Jersey and in Virginia where Democrats prevailed. And I guess part of the playbook of the Republicans running in those states was to just tell people that things are great and say everything's perfect. And actually things are cheaper. Gas is below $2 a gallon. Electricity is cheaper. Housing is cheaper. Your Thanksgiving, what do they say, was 25% cheaper. And we all like, what are you talking about? So are there lessons that you glean from some of these other races, or what do you make of when Trump's out there and these MAGA Republicans, and you see it in your state saying, this is it, like this is the golden age, like we did it, mission accomplished?
Yeah, these Republican candidates for governor have shown us exactly who they are. They play in our face every single day. But the people know better because you feel it. You know how much money you're spending on groceries. You know how much you're spending if you do happen to go out to eat. You know that your utility bill is more ends up being more money month over month, unfortunately, because Republicans refuse to provide that relief. And let me tell you, when we get this ACA cliff, it is going to be devastating for families that are going to be paying exorbitantly high premiums just to stay healthy, just to be able to afford to go to a doctor visit. And the candidates that you mentioned, and whoever the likely Republican nominee is in Wisconsin, will not have a plan. And you mentioned gas prices, and pretty important to mention that, because we're going to be gaslit by whoever that candidate is that's going to sit and lie to the people of Wisconsin every single day about how things actually are. But when you feel the pain, when you feel the pinch, those lies are even more intense, and it will be felt at the ballot box when people get to air their grievances.
Mandela, before we go, where can people learn more about the campaign and anything else you want to say to our 6 million subscribers?
Yeah, please take a moment to go to MandelaBarnes.com, sign up to volunteer or donate. We need all the help we can get because what comes along with a lot of these bad faith actors are special interests and special interest money. And the only way that we are able to beat back the noise is through grassroots support. That's how I've run all my campaigns. That's how I intend to run this one. And ultimately, we are going to show how organizing wins elections and how the grassroots can come to win an election for governor of the state of Wisconsin.
Mandela Barnes makes the big announcement here. I'm just going to call it a YouTube exclusive. We'll say it is. We appreciate you so much. And thank you for your announcement. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.